Eight warriors fight in honor of their chapter, but only one will earn glory in today's Blood Angels Battle Royale. Welcome to Hobby with Ollie, where today we're answering the question, who is the strongest Blood Angels HQ unit? I have a selection of units from my Blood Angels collection, and they're going to fight it out Mortal Kombat style to determine who is the greatest among the host of angels. Now, in order to balance the game a little bit, I've introduced alternate activations, as well as a retinue of intercessors to balance out the points. This is going to be far from balanced, and I'm sure I'll make mistakes along the way, but let me know who you're rooting for in the comments down below. The first battle sees the Chaplain up against the Sanguinary Priest. Will the Sanguinary Priest be able to hold out, or will the Chaplain decimate him with his Inferno Pistol? The all-important coin toss is first. Tails is the green Necron side, selected by the Sanguinary Priest. But it turns up heads. That's what you get for heresy, I guess. Turn 1 goes to the Chaplain. Before the first round begins, the Chaplain attempts to recite the Mantra of Strength, but unfortunately he seems to have forgotten the words. In response, the Sanguinary Priest drinks deeply from the Blood Chalice, granting himself the Assault Doctrine and so an extra attack on the charge this turn. The Chaplain shoots his Inferno Pistol, which hits. He only needs a 2 to wound here, Strength 8 against Toughness 4. That's a wound with a 3. It's AP -4, so no save for the Sanguinary Priest. How much damage does it do? It's 6 plus 2, we're assuming he's in half range. The Sanguinary Priest gets to attempt to ignore these on a 6. He's going to roll 8 dice. He needs to make at least 5 of them. But unfortunately he only rolls 1 6, so will be taken down. This first bout goes to the Chaplain and that Inferno Pistol, which is looking really scary. For our next matchup, we have the Lord of Death himself, MEPHISTON, up against the young pretender, Primaris Lieutenant. The Primaris Lieutenant won the toss, going first, but his first bolt pistol shot, although it found its mark, failed to wound the Lord of Death. But many of his qualities come in marshalling his troops, so his intercessors fired their bolt pistols, managing to inflict a wound on MEPHISTON. However, the artificer armor of the Chief Librarian was enough to keep out the shot. MEPHISTON fired back with his plasma pistol, managing to get through the armor of the Primaris Lieutenant and inflicting a wound. First blood to MEPHISTON. At this point, I realised I'd forgotten the psychic phase, one of MEPHISTON's main strengths. I rolled Smite for him, rolling an 11, meaning D6 mortal wounds. Only 1, a real let-off for the Primaris Lieutenant there, and disappointing from MEPHISTON. But he still had the opportunity for some bonus attacks through quickening, needing a 6, which he failed. At this point, it was time for our first close combat of this tournament. The intercessors charged in, closely followed by their Primaris Lieutenant's brother. The Primaris Lieutenant took the first swing, hefting his power sword at MEPHISTON, managing to score 4 hits and rolling to wound. Unfortunately, only managing to wound once against MEPHISTON's toughness 5. The Chief Librarian's artificer armor saved him once again. And yet, as he parried and expertly blocked the Primaris Lieutenant's blows, a flurry of attacks came in from the intercessors. With the sheer volume of attacks coming in, a number of them were bound to break through the resolve of the Chief Librarian. With 4 wounds scored, it was up to the Chief Librarian's artificer armor to deflect the blows once again. And he failed all 4 of them. Fortunately, he can ignore wounds on a 5+. As the Lord of Death, he shrugs off 2 of the wounds and turns back to fight. Wielding Vitaris, his power sword, in both hands, he swings wildly at the Lieutenant, missing with 2 of his strikes. Between the force of his blows and his ancient weapon, these will wound the Lieutenant on 2s. And 4 wounds go through. Due to the ferocity of the strikes, the Lieutenant can only attempt to save these on a 6+ with his armor. And he fails to save a single one, which means he will be taken down by the bestial savagery of Chief Librarian MEPHISTON. For the next matchup, we've got a captain with a relic blade, represented by Dominion Zephon, up against a Death Company lieutenant with twin chainswords. So this is martial prowess versus brute force. The Death Company Lieutenant has won the coin toss, and so will begin with his pistol. He scores a hit, but fails to wound. However, the two intercessors with him go one better, scoring both 1 hit and 1 wound. The captain's now going to try to armor save this, needing a 3-up. Unfortunately, a 2 is not going to do it. First blood has been taken by the Death Company Lieutenant. Firing back, Dominion Zephon hits with his bolt pistol, manages to wound, and that's a failed armor save from the Death Company Lieutenant. Fortunately, he has a 6-up to ignore damage, which he also fails. A dead heat so far. And now it's time for every Blood Angel's favourite phase, the charge phase. They're going to charge in, pairing off the intercessors who fight and spar in the corner of the arena, as the Death Company Lieutenant and his loyal retinue charge into Dominion Zephon. A large number of attacks coming in with all the chain swords and Death Company rage flowing through his veins. He manages to get a number of wounds, and he's going to re-roll his ones because he is a Death Company Marine, so his Lieutenant's aura is going to affect him. All in all, 2 wounds go through, and they're both saved by the armor of Dominion Zephon. After deflecting the blow, he's now going to hit back. 3 hits scored, wounding on 2s here, and so he's able to get 3 wounds through. However, with the best roll of the round so far, he's able to save 2 of them on a 6. So, because only 1 wound is coming through, he's now got his 6-up to ignore each of the damage coming through from that wound. He fails to save either one, so he will take 2 damage. Dominion Zephon's going to strike back now, wielding his relic blade aloft and charging down from the sky. He manages to hit 3 times. He'll be expecting to land a death blow here, but unfortunately he's only managed to wound with 1 of the strikes. However, there's still a 6-up save required from the Death Company Lieutenant in order to keep him alive. And there it is, 6-up save. He's in the game. He's going to strike back with a fistful of attacks, hitting on 2s. And these are then going to wound on 4s. Can he do it? No, not a single wound comes back through. But the Lieutenant is not alone. His faithful retinue shall strike, landing 2 hits and 2 wounds onto the captain. Dominion Zephon has his 4-up invulnerable save. 1 of them saved, 1 going through for 1 more damage. It's a really close fight. The Death Company Lieutenant gets to go first this turn. He's going to strike with his chainsword, swinging in a wild maelstrom of fury. Hitting with 4. Wounding on 4s. Which again slips past the guard of the captain, inflicting 1 more wound. It's a dead heat. However, the captain's blood is up. He's hitting on 2s, and he's wounding on 3s. A good number of wounds. AP -3, so he needs 6-up saves, which he can't make this time. He's got 6 6-up feel no pains, needs to make all of them, and unfortunately he's not able to do so. This round goes to Dominion Zephon. And so we come to our final round. 2 bold leaders who crossed the Rubicon Primaris. A captain clad in heavy plate versus the spiritual leader, the chaplain. The chaplain comes out chanting the mantra of strength, giving himself an additional attack, strength, and damage. The pistols from both sides are ricocheting bolter fire in all directions off of shields and armoured ceramites, but neither side seems to be able to find an advantage, and no wounds are scored during this phase. But that means it's time for every Blood Angel's favourite time, charging right into the face of the enemy. The chaplain and his loyal intercessor square off against the Primaris captain. Smiting down with his power sword, the captain swings, hitting with the majority of his attacks. Wounding on 3s, again landing a majority of wounds, 4 wounds for the chaplain to save. He rolls his 4-up invuln save, saving 3 of them. The one that goes through is going to inflict 2 points of damage. But the Primaris chaplain is no slouch, chanting the mantra of strength. He's going to hit back with his Crozius Arcanum, hitting 4 times. And wounding on 2s. He inflicts 3 wounds back. These are going to deal an additional damage if they go through. Rolling the saves for the captain. That extra shield is giving him a bonus +1. He does manage to save them all. The additional intercessors continue the dance of the duel. But the final intercessor is going to attack into the Primaris captain, hitting with 3 of his attacks, and wounding with all 3 as well. The captain has a 2-up save against these, but fails 1, which manages to sneak its way around his guard. It's time for a new round, and so the chaplain begins chanting the mantra of strength again, but unfortunately it does not have its empowering effect. The chaplain's going first this time and strikes ferociously with his Crozius, hitting on 2s, and wounding. 2 5s will be enough to do it. So it's 2 3-up saves for the captain, and he fails them both, which means with 2 damage coming through from each Crozius hit, he is going to fall. This round, in a surprise upset, goes to the Primaris chaplain. And so here you have it, our 4 champions from 4 epic duels. Who will be crowned the true victor and champion of the blood? Join me next time on Blood Angels Battle Royale to find out. In the meantime, my name has been Ollie, this has been my hobby, and I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's been so much fun to make. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.